I have the honor of being here today with Matthew Malk, who is the head coach of the U.S. Maccabi basketball team, right?
That's correct. The U18 team.
Okay. Okay. Under 18.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can you start out by tell us a little bit about who you are, and then I want to get into the games themselves.
I am a guy that fell in love with the game of basketball early. I'm not a tall guy, so I realized that coaching might be my best avenue to get me to where I want to be ultimately. And I've been blessed. It's taken me to many different places. I started coaching in Washington, D.C. under a legendary Hall of Fame coach, Morgan Wooten, at the Matha High School. Moved myself and my family to New Jersey about a decade after being at the Matha, and coached at a school at Rani in New Jersey, a successful prep school. The last time I was there, we finished top 5 in the nation, had 2 McDonald's All-Americans, and one of our guys, actually 2 of our guys, are now playing in the NBA Summer League. One got drafted. So I've been very fortunate to coaching exceptional young men. I've only coached high school, and I think that's why they thought I was a great fit to lead our 17 and 18-year-old boys overseas here in Israel.
Okay, and I want to get into that because I have a feeling that like probably a lot of our viewers and readers of All Israel News may not be familiar with the Maccabi games, or you say Maccabi games, I think in Israel it's Maccabiah. But can you first of all tell us like what is that?
It is the second largest sporting event in the world behind the Olympics. I believe there are 70 different countries represented. 13,000 athletes. The U.S. delegation is made up of roughly 1,300 athletes. I mean, every sport under the sun you can imagine. Hockey, soccer, futsal, basketball, tennis. I mean, everything under the sun imaginable. And I'll be honest, it's my first time doing it. It's a great honor. I did not know a whole lot about it. It was actually my athletic trainer at Rani one day, just kind of out of the blue, suggested that I apply, and I did. And you know, fast forward now 2.5 years because of the COVID delay, and here we are. But yeah, it's an incredible event. So much so, as we have our opening ceremonies on Thursday of this week at Teddy Stadium. We're expecting a sold out 45,000 people. President Biden will be in attendance. So it's a tremendous honor for all of us and our team and our coaches to be a part of this.
Yeah, that's it's huge. How many is it? How often are the games?
They're on the same scale. They're same schedule as the Olympics. They're a year after the Olympics. So many of the athletes actually compete in both, and that's why they don't do them the same time, because many of the athletes compete in both the Olympics and the Maccabi games. Mm-hmm. So yeah, every 4 years, but with COVID last year, it was delayed. So the next games will now be in 2025. Okay.
And are they always held in Israel?
Yes. So the large Maccabiah, which is the 21st, are held in Israel. They do also have the Pan Am Games. They offer a South America, which I believe are in Argentina this coming year, as well as the European Games, which are going to be held in Germany this coming winter. But yeah, every 4 years, and then you have kind of every 4 years in between those 2 other events.
Okay. All right. And it's all Jewish athletes from each country?
It is. It's Jewish athletes from around the world. It's really incredible. You know, just being here for the first time and experiencing it and seeing all these different people. I think coaching in the States, coaching at a Catholic school, you don't realize how many tremendous Jewish talents there are. But we worked really hard to find these guys. You know, I have great assistant coaches. One of them is a college assistant at Yale. You know, we went through every single name that sounded Jewish. We reached out, we found details. You know, it was a really difficult task, but it was a lot of fun to meet these guys. And I would send a message just kind of hoping they were Jewish. And some of them were. A lot of them said, "Coach, I get it, but I'm not Jewish." So that was fine as well. And but we did a really good job. We worked hard. We found tremendous talent. We had about 100 kids try out between 2 tryouts, one in Philadelphia and one in Los Angeles. I would say of those 100 kids, we probably knew about 60 of them going into it because of the work that we had done. So really proud of the effort that my staff and I did, and certainly proud of the young men that we have as a result.
So how many do you have on your team? How many
Oh,
players?
we have 12, and we
12.
have 12 literally all over the country. We have a kid from Portland. We have a few from Los Angeles, a few from San Francisco area, Miami, Connecticut, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, New Orleans. So, I mean, we really represent the United States very well from all corners of the country.
So it must be more challenging for the larger countries to recruit, as opposed to like if you have a small country and a small Jewish community, you've got a limited pool of talent to choose from. But in the U.S., you've got sea to shining sea. It's a large country, large Jewish population, so it must be a lot harder to find players.
Yeah, it was a challenge, and I really was careful with picking. I had a plan for how I wanted to get this done, and a part of that was starting with my staff and how I wanted to build that, and to have a college coach. We have Coach Elkin from Yale University, and he was a huge help in sourcing kids. The recruiting process is a part of it that I love more than anything. I really love getting to know the families, the kids, kind of painting the vision of what I have. And so, I mean, you asked who I was. I talked to you about basketball. I'm also a father of 4. I'm a husband. And I don't think I could have done it without the support of all of them. They really, I just can't tell you how many nights I was on the phone with Los Angeles, which is 3 hours from where I live in New Jersey. And it was almost every night for 2 months in a row where I would schedule 2-3 calls a night and talk to people. And it was certainly a challenge. I mean, the other challenge we faced as a coaching staff is that in the United States, especially for our age group of 17 and 18-year-olds, AAU basketball is so big, and it's really the best opportunity for our guys to get seen, to get college offers. So that was another challenge, that we had to convince young men that we were going to go above and beyond to make sure that we would help in their college searches, that we would get them in front of coaches. We would reach out and do everything we could. And, I think regardless of the outcome, I'm most honored that our 6 seniors are all committed to play college next year. Our 6 juniors, 3 of them are all wrapped up already, and the other 3 have tremendous interest from a lot of schools. And myself and my staff have been a big part of that in helping these young men. And because that's the challenge for a high school basketball player, July in America, there is just nothing more important. And how do you convince an elite athlete that, hey, you're not going to get seen when all your teammates are? And we're really happy that these kids bought into what we were preaching and believed in us. And I'm proud that we stuck to our promise.
Well, what do you think? What does it mean, for a Jewish American, Jewish, for a Jewish player, a Jewish athlete to participate in the games? Like, what is this? What do you feel like this does for the Jewish people?
So when I interviewed and ultimately received the job, and I just took a step back because it was like a 4-interview process. I went up against a lot of tremendous coaches. I think to be here in Israel, for many of our young men, it's their first time being here. We are incredibly blessed that all of our families are going to be here. My family, our players' families are all here with us. So that's a really neat thing. And what I was saying was, we've worked really hard on building a culture of being a family. It's kind of us against everyone here. And we know people are gunning for us and are really looking to make sure we don't win that gold. And, we've got to see a lot of the sights and scenes. Tomorrow we'll be at Yad Vashem tonight. We're having a dinner with a Holocaust survivor. So it's been about basketball. It's been about the spirituality. It's been about religion. And it's been about pride. And most importantly for us, it's been about family and kind of sharing this experience together as one. So yeah, it means the world to us. I mean, we're representing the United States of America while playing in Israel. It just doesn't get any better than that for us.
That's great. And so tell me, when did you say your first game is?
Our first game is on Wednesday against Brazil.
Okay. And then you'll be coming to the opening ceremonies in Jerusalem?
Yes, we'll be there on the 14th for the opening ceremonies. We're absolutely blown away and honored that the President of the United States will be there to welcome us in. Yeah, I mean, it's surreal. It's to walk into that stadium wearing the stars and stripes, to look up and see our president there. I mean, how does it get any better? It's just incredible, and our family. So, I'm getting goosebumps telling you that. So we're excited.
Oh, that's really awesome. Have you been to Israel before?
I have. So I've been here this is my third time,
Okay.
for three incredible reasons. My first time, I was the oldest grandchild. So my grandparents brought me and my family at 13 for my bar mitzvah on the Masada, where we were yesterday. My second, um, I was remarried 6 years ago. So my wife and I decided to honeymoon for 10 days here in Israel. And then now to be the head coach of the United States basketball team. It's just three pretty special moments. So
Yeah.
the country of Israel really truly holds just an incredible place in my heart.
Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. And do you see, like, with your players, like, or if some of them, you said a few of them are here for the first time, I mean, what are they experiencing by also connecting to, the Jewish state?
So we did the Dead Sea in Masada yesterday. I mean, the first time you go in the Dead Sea is a treat, outside of stinging at first. But I mean, the kids were just giddy. They're 18-year-olds acting like 10-year-olds, throwing mud on themselves, and that was tremendous for them. Today, we got to volunteer with some disabled and injured IDF soldiers and play wheelchair basketball with them, and we got to hear some of their stories. One of the men today, said he had 3 birthdays, and he said he's had 2 separate terrorist attacks on himself personally. And, just to look over and see my guys put their arms around one another as tears are rolling down their face. It's just special. We've got incredible young men. We've got incredible families, and to lead them into this experience. And then tomorrow we go to Yad Vashem, and,
Yeah.
I've been there. It is, you just leave there. A lot of our kids have the descendants of Holocaust survivors. So I just know how special tomorrow is going to be for them.
Well, it sounds like it's a life-changing experience in many ways, and all the more if you guys go home with gold.
That is the plan. At the end of the day, it's a real balance as a coach, because you want these young men to be young men and to experience these things together for the first time and share their feelings. They're away from their families. We scrimmaged tonight, and we spoke after about just where we are right now, where we want to ultimately be in this tournament, and just let's talk. What are you feeling? What are the goods? What are the bads? And some of the kids said, I miss my family, and I don't blame them. I saw my family on Shabbat for the first time, and as long as we've been here, and just to hold my son and my daughter and hug my wife, see my parents and my in-laws. I mean, it was real. Emotional now, but it was just emotional. So, and I'm a grown man. So for these kids to be away in this foreign land, and it's special, and it runs the gamut. We've also had to experience a lot since we've been here. 2 of our young men lost grandparents while they were here. A coach of ours lost one of his players while we were here. So, all we have is each other right now, and we've really relied on each other. And while a lot of these things that have happened have been sad, I think it's only bringing us together more, because we've been able to lean on each other for support and for strength. And, I think those are the things that I hope will will us to the finish line in our ultimate goal, which is to win gold.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What an incredible journey.
It has been. It really, truly has been. There's just been a lot of stories. We played, we had a scrimmage the other day, and somebody approached me afterwards and just said, you just don't know what today meant. And I'm like, well, what did it mean? We had a scrimmage. Well, we played in a gym at a school here in Ramat Gan, and there was a young man that grew up in the school, played basketball nonstop. Mom would have to come pull him out of there. And it was the first time in 5 years since her son was killed in a car accident that she had watched the basketball game. And one of our guys hit a 3-point shot, and I didn't know any of that. I'm coaching. I had no idea, but she started crying, and it was tears of, relief and I don't want to say joy. That's not fair, but it gave her some closure that, here I am seeing something that meant so much to my son. So one of our management people shared this story with me. And when we went to practice the next day, I huddled the guys up and on the court, and I shared that story. And at the end of practice, we all went over to a memorial at this school, and we just had a moment of silence. We said a prayer for this young man and his family, and It's stuff like that. It's like, it's just, there's been stories like that are just unreal. It's really, it's just really been incredible for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really amazing. Unbelievable. Well, listen, I'm going to include a link to where people can follow you guys and follow, all the sports, but, also for you guys. And I just want to wish you best of luck. I mean, I guess I have to be unbiased because I'm a reporter, but I am an American. So, I mean, Team USA, I have to.
You just root for us. That's all that matters. We'll take as many fans as we could get. Really, everybody's been really kind to us. It's really nice. We first met at Amari's Peace Camp, and to be with Amari and Tamir, and to have, what was it, 200 kids, and the reaction that our young men got out of that, and it put a lot of things in perspective. We talked about that too. How do you feel about that day? They said, at the end of the day, we may not be, NBA stars and Amari and Tamir, but we certainly were looked up to that day. And,
sure. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, my son scored a basket at that. Did you see that?
I don't remember which one was your son, but that's terrific.
I'll send you.
Great. Yeah. It's just been great. I mean, we've been really well received by everyone. Everyone's, we walk around and everyone's excited to see us, and we're certainly excited to see everyone. And we're just really excited to play basketball now. We just want to get on the floor and meet others from around the world and kind of wrap up this trip. And like I said, hopefully we return with gold medals around our necks.
Yeah.
If we don't, this will still be an experience none of us ever forget.
Yeah, it looks like you guys have already had an amazing experience. So the gold would be like just the icing on the cake. So anyway, I just want to wish you the best, and thanks for taking. I know you're extremely busy. You've got a lot going on, so thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
It's absolutely my honor and pleasure, and I thank you for everything and your support. And to your viewers, let's go Team USA. Thank you guys so much.